Hey guys, it's Erica, and as you can see, we have a little plant reviving to do today. This is my one and only pothos that, as you can see, doing horribly. It's thirsty. You can tell by how the leaves are curled. It is so thirsty, in fact, that there's so many dead and dying leaves on here. This whole bottom portion has been burned off by being in the direct sunlight. So we're gonna have to cut that off. And it also happened on this side. Like I said, this is my one and only golden pothos. Pothos are so easy to care for. Like, I am surprised this thing is still alive because I have not been taking good care of it, clearly. But this little guy was moved outside of my home and it lives in my backyard. So it was in a shady spot until the sun started moving. Well, the earth started moving, so the sun started hitting different spots. So it was no longer in a shady spot, and the bottom trails were unfortunately burned away during some very hot days. The reason that I have not tended to this plant sooner is because it's a golden pothos and I know how hardy they are. And you can see it's still alive, and I'm 100% confident that this thing is gonna look beautiful. So let's start the revival process. The first thing that I'm gonna do, of course, is take it out of this little hanger. What I hate most about having macrame hangers on trailing plants is that they're so hard to get off once you need to take them off. But I'm gonna collect the dead leaves to put into my compost. Some already fell off when I was taking off the macrame hanger. And let me show you how the top part of this pot looks. You can see there's so many leaves. There's a whole entire twig in here. You can see that at least the base of the plant looks pretty healthy, and that there are lots of brown dying, dead, actually they're dead, they're not dying, brown dead leaves to pull. So that's what we're gonna start with. I'm gonna start off by removing the stuff inside the top part of the pot because I feel like this is where some of the worst is happening. And these leaves inside this pot just is not it. So here now we can clearly see that the base of the plant is okay, and that is really important because if the base of the plant was dying or unhealthy, then we would know that these browning leaves were not from sunburn, but instead they were from overwatering or not having any water being able to travel through the stems to the tips of the plant. But now we know for sure this was just burned. And I feel like already just by moving that top part, it looks a lot better. But there are still these ends here that I need to get rid of. Let me get my shears. This is the part that I'm so excited to get rid of because every time it trails on the floor, it just makes like a screeching sound. And I'm gonna cut it up to, it's only dead up to here, but I'm gonna cut it down to this node because I don't want this blank area just to be there leafless. So I'm gonna cut right below the node with the last leaf. And this, I guess I could propagate. I feel like since it's a golden pothos, it doesn't really matter if I propagate it or not, but I guess I'll just propagate it. So I'm just gonna cut right above this node and I guess put that in, I'll put it in sphagnum moss and then see if it roots, but this whole dead thing is gone and this empty stick is gone. So far it looks a lot better. It's kind of like when you get a haircut to get rid of all your split ends. That's like scraggly at the bottom, like what I got going on right now. But I'm gonna be doing the same exact thing for this. And same thing here, cutting off the dead. And we're gonna be putting this in sphagnum moss. Now all that we have left to do is to collect the rest of these dead leaves, which there are still a few of. Getting them from the directly off the node so that we don't have any of the stems are not stuck on there while the leaves are pulled off. We're getting the whole entire vine or the whole entire leaf off from the base of it. And there we go. This so far looks so much better. It looks, honestly, this is like how some of them look like at Lowe's. At Lowe's and Home Depot, or mostly Walmart, they look like this. So right now it just looks thirsty. You can see that there are some roots coming out from the bottom here. And I also do want to hide how bare it is up here. So I'm gonna take it out of the pot and I want to put it back in this same pot. So hopefully I could get it to fit. The only reason I'm repotting it is because I want to cover this blank area where all the leaves have fallen off. Just for the plant to be healthy, I could leave it like this, but like I keep repeating, I want this part, this empty part, to be covered to make it look as good as possible. I feel like this is gonna be very root bound though, so I might have to, oh my goodness, this is why it kept drying out so fast. Oh my gosh, this needs to go in a bigger pot. Let me show you guys. This is the roots. Yeah, it's very root bound, so I am gonna need to get a bigger pot for this. Let me just loosen it up a little bit. But this is why this plant needs water so often. So I'm gonna have to go and try to find a pot that will be a good fit for this plant. So I'll be right back. I wasn't really expecting to size up, but here we are. All right, you guys, we got very lucky. I found the exact same pot, but bigger, so I could put the plant in here. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to rip off the yellowing leaves at the top. We could just get rid of those because they're eventually gonna turn brown just like all the other ones we took off and fall off anyways. So might as well just get rid of them now while we can cover the stem that they're on. There we go. And I'm gonna put this deeper. The bare part of the stems are gonna be completely covered in soil, except for this one, because this one is just too long. The bare stem is too long on that one. So this is how deep I'm putting it, and I'm covering all of this area. You can see it's all empty in there, and that's what we want to hide. Like I said, this is all for aesthetic. Like, it doesn't really matter if you cover it or leave it out. It can, these nodes that are being buried can grow roots, so it's not going to harm the plant in any way, in case that's something that you're worried about. Here we go. You can see the base part is more full. This one stem right here is bare all the way up until here, so that is the only part that kind of ruins the illusion, as you can see. But other than that, the leaves all start right at the base. And this is before we've even watered it. So tomorrow morning is when this plant is going to be complete. I think it looks really good so far. And once the leaves are rehydrated, oh my gosh, this is going to look like a brand new plant. Isn't it crazy how fast you can like improve how a plant looks? And it's also going to be so much happier without having a bunch of dead leaves on it. So I'm gonna water it and then I'll check back in the morning and we can see the final results. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! So it's been a couple hours since I watered the plant, and I wasn't planning on filming this, but I was taking my thumbnail and I just felt like I should show you guys how it looks because it looks so good. Here it is in its new pot. It has a new hanger and it looks so good against this gray color. This is just so full. It looks like it's never suffered a day in its life. So I would say the revival went amazingly well, if you ask me. That's just the beauty of Pothos.